welcome back to the GSTL, where Axiom Acer stopped in their tracks now finally by Trap in a Protoss vs. Protoss, our most one-sided match of the day so far.
Yeah, definitely, and this might be the start of a comeback. This might be the chance that they have to turn things around and at least go for a tie here. The coach not looking like too confident, rather looking a little bit, I don't know, distracted, I would say.
He does have a cool watch. I like that. Totally black-faced. Alicia's not so happy about that last game, of course.
He got, he got countered pretty hard. That was child's play for Trap. At least looked like it.
Yeah, it's like, that got countered so hard. It was like, you go for a 6-pull, you get to the Protoss base, there's like a cannon at the top of the ramp. It just doesn't get much better than that.
I can't get over this outfit. I'm loving it. It's like, if Axiom Acer has a party, if they want girls, they definitely ask him.
Well, I don't know, man. I think it looks pretty good, but it's not like that good.
Oh, it's awesome. No, I really love it. He's like a boss. And look at Hiva looking in the camera. Is like, how you doing?
He's ready to go, man.
That's his player face right there.
Have you noticed that the Soul Jackets have a really cool green zipper?
Yep.
I like that. Adds a little bit of extra flavor.
Awesome. Today is a good day.
Today is a good day, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Game so far, not the most convincing. We saw a couple of really nice build order from players. Trap, it was just crazy. He knew where that Stargate was even before he scouted it. He just sent that one Phoenix right down that path, and he met the Oracle right away. And it's like, hey, here you are. How you doing? There's my Phoenix. What are you going to say to that? And I was like, oh, nothing. You're going to lose the game? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, smart choice considering the recent patch and everything in that map. Well, going to Derelict Watcher, anything could happen here. We talked about it's a 2-player map, very straightforward, very short rush distance. Could be an early pull from Hiva. Could also be an early pull from Impact. Wouldn't be surprised. He's not the best win ratio in ZVZ. You might want to try to turn the tables on Hiva.
Yeah, might be the case here. It's definitely going to be, I feel, an action-packed Zerg versus Zerg. I would be surprised if we would see like them both just sitting tight and attacking it up.
By the way, have you noticed that Impact's glasses are super high prescription? Look at that. You can see the distortion on his jacket. He must have some high-powered glasses. It's like he can see. He's probably got X-ray vision on those, man.
He should get the gold room glasses and a gold chain as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'd do photo ops with him.
He's absolutely a player. Let's see if he can take down Hiva here. Is Hiva going to tie it? We have the 4th match actually at the GSTL now. Impact versus Hiva at the GSTL between Soul and Axiom Acer. Brought to you by Cullen Wolf. And starting to the bottom left in red, we have the Axiom Acer player, formerly known as Mechia. He is
Axiom Impact.
Making a positive impact on his team.
Yeah, definitely true. But only with 5 maps played and a 40% win ratio in Heart of the Swarm offline against other Zerg players. On the other hand, we have Hiva starting to the top right, and he's definitely a little bit more successful than his counterpart in the past. He's, of course,
Soul Hiva.
And neither player with the early pull, both on the 9 Overlord. Interesting, he has his F1 key removed, I noticed. I can't imagine a purpose for that, but it must be how he's set up his hotkeys specifically. For those of you guys who maybe just watch StarCraft only and don't play it, or if you play StarCraft a lot but you didn't know this, you can actually change any hotkey in the entire game to be whatever you want it to be if you go to your options menu and hit hotkeys. So a lot of players use really, really weird and custom hotkeys. Some Brood War players use Brood War hotkeys. A lot of different things you can change.
And what doesn't really change is the build orders for the two guys. Both of them starting with the hatch first here. I really expected a little bit more aggression coming out of one of them. But let's see what the early mid-game actually brings. Yeah. Because so far, Hiva the one who plays it a lot more, a lot more greedy. He didn't even start his pool yet. He goes into gas, he goes into drones first, and now finally we have the spawning pool.
Yeah, a slightly more conservative opening from Impact, who cuts the drones, gets his pool really early, doesn't go gas first. And this actually gives a huge advantage to Hiva. And this is, if you've studied Hiva's play in the past, not what you would expect from him. So I feel like Impact's build is a smart choice, but it's also that Haiba is playing him for what he probably expects. He's saying, okay, you probably expect me to be aggressive. I'm going to do the exact opposite and get really fast gas and tech up quickly.
Now, the thing is, against a player like Haiba, you also see the pool before a hatch quite often because you want to be on the safe side and you want to make sure that if there's an early pool, you can counter that quite easily. If Haiba would go, for example, for a very early pool and is countered by a 14 pool, that could end the game immediately. But Haiba has actually been doing this in the past, or in the recent past, a little bit more often, that he just plays super, super greedy because he knows so many people expect him to be very aggressive, and then he just gets away with getting or squeezing those extra drones in there.
Yeah, Haiba is basically the new Zerg. He's aggressive, you don't know what to expect, he's scary. And now he's going for still triple gas mining with the speed on the way, so he could still be aggressive despite the fact that he had such a conservative tech-oriented opening, gas-oriented opening.
I mean, with Zerg at the end, you really knew what to expect. I think nobody really told Zerg that in StarCraft 2 you can tech to Hive. He was always just trying to win it on lair tech, and he refused to go for the Hive thing.
He's like,
no, I'm not going to do it.
64 drones is as high as I'm going. He's like, I'm never going to make the 65th.
Exactly. 64 drones, and that's it. And like, I'm always going to play on lair tech, nothing else. Great scout deny that we see here by Haiba. So no Zerglings in the main base, don't reveal anything for Impact.
And actually, you know what I like about this? Most Zerg players would leave, like as soon as the Zerglings get towards the hatchery, that's when they would send the queen down. But he saw with the Overlord and sent his queen down preemptively just to deny this. And that actually makes a pretty big difference here. Now the Baneling Nest is also unscouted, and he goes for a very fast lair here.
Yeah, goes straight into the lair. The Baneling Nest is going to be just to be safe, to make sure that he has Banelings on top. Not going to commit to this too much just yet. And on the other hand, of course, the Zerglings trying to run in and scout what's happening in the base of Impact.
Yeah. Look at the speed timing here. He just runs circles around quite literally. Sees the Roach Warren. And with this Roach Warren timing, he has to be careful if he wants to commit to mutas, because this is going to put him a little bit at risk. He will have to make spine crawlers. And he's gone into triple gas, so it looks very likely we're going to see a rush to mutas here. And it's all about, can Impact identify this? So with the fast Roach Warren, he definitely has a possible counter to this.
Double Evolution Chamber already going down here for Impact, and he wants to go into that Roach style. And for Haiba, this is of course, I mean, this is once again going into a scenario where the third bases will become very important. And Impact can send units across the map and trying to pressure Haiba if he wants to get that third. The Mutalisks always need a really long time to kill Roaches just because of the armor, so you can't just fly across the map and take your opponent down. But what we should see for Impact very soon, when he realizes what's happening here, is him just trying to get those Overlords to safety, because this is the first thing that Haiba is going to target, the Overlords, and trying to shut down the scouting and also the supply of his opponent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the scout here is really important for Haiba. He has that Zergling just poised, waiting. Hey, I dare you to send the drone over. I'm going to send a big commitment of Lings over as soon as I see you make that third base. I'm going to spend all my gas on Mutalisks. He's already gotten a huge surplus of gas, up to 450 right now. Even denying tumors. Denying tumors means that any Roach counter-aggression is going to take that much longer to get across the map.
Yeah, it's also more about like the scout, because as soon as you have to retreat with the Overlords, the tumors are one of the few things that can really give you a bit of a preemptive warning that your opponent is actually approaching. So with Haiba going for Mutalisks, the Overlords of Impact will have to retreat here. There's just no other way for him to deal with this.
Also, it also will connect his third base, which is pretty useful at defending harassment there.
I mean, the Queens is something that he will definitely try to use against the Mutalisks when need be. And the Zergling here, of course, been taken out at the third base. But you could see that Haiba already knows, and he has his own third coming up. The Mutalisk also started. So for Impact, we will most likely see Hydra then. But we could also see him just go into Infestors. Both choices are pretty valid. But what has started already is the additional Queens.
Yeah, and he's... You know, honestly, I really like Impact's position here, because he has the Spore Crawlers ready. He has the creep connected, mostly. He's got even a very... You can very rarely see that many Spore Crawlers just in between the bases, but it's a smart choice.
And you see immediately on the minimap that all of those Overlords are moving. All the Overlords on the map are moving. Two of them are trying to escape to the bottom right. Another one at the bottom left is trying to get into the main base just to the safety of the Spore Crawlers. He's countering it with the Infestation Pit right now, which we see a lot more often in the Hydra just lately. But fewer Overlords, of course, have to be sacrificed there. But Impact knows that he has to retreat with as many as he can.
Yeah. You know, I don't think that he's going to sustain a lot of damage. He's already lost one Overlord. Will lose probably eventually two more. because they've both been spotted. But still, the third base is up. It stands. He's got a decent roach count, and he's going to have the much better upgrades. So I like his position here a lot. And now Haiba's the one who's forced to make something happen with these Mutalisks.
It's definitely a huge commitment that he has in tech. I mean, that's a lot of gas that's coming in the map. That's 10 Mutalisks, that's 1,000 gas already. So right now he wants to do damage with that, or at least keep his opponent at bay. But with the Spore Crawler commitment, it will be pretty difficult for him. And on the ground, we do not have a lot here. We just see the upgrade started for Haiba, who also starts with his own roaches. But the Queen's already a bit of a problem here. And they are trying to take down as many of the tumors as they can, just to make sure that the Queens are limited to the bottom left of the map. That's the only anti-air that we see for Impact, in disregarding the Spore Crawlers, of course.
Right, and of course the Infestors that will come out shortly. Yeah. There's the Hydra Den started, along with the Baneling Nest. And the Mutas here are just trying to find a sweet spot. But notice, like you talked about before, the Roaches just have so much armor, especially with the +1 Carapace, that the Mutas can't even snipe them. This is actually a good opportunity for him, though. He can actually snipe the Hydralisk Den.
Yeah, and that is going to become a big problem, especially since Main and Natural are not connected with Creep, so the Queens are going to need a little bit longer to get there. There's the cancel.
There's only one Spore here as well, and one Queen, so he can actually pick up a lot of drones and even maybe get the second Hydralisk Den.
And he will. I mean, there's no way to actually transfuse that yet, so that snipe is going to happen. Not even a cancel.
Yeah,
what I like,
cancel.
on the other hand, for Impact is that this +2/+2 upgrades are already underway. So he will have a significant lead in the upgrades, and when it comes to a ground battle, that is going to become a huge deal.
One Queen will be sniped. Well, actually, no, with the transfuse he's saved, but that's actually not even that significant considering how many backup Queens he has. This Mutalisk pressure is just going to make sure the Roaches stay back. But Infestors are coming out. The better upgrades, like you said. The only thing he's missing really are the Hydralisks, which he can add whenever he wants, whenever he feels a little more secure. He also has the lead in drones by about 10.
Yep. I mean, he needs to get that Hydra Den up first, but it's nearly about done. But just look at the numbers here. Haiba, of course, has more Roaches, but the upgrades are going to become an issue. And he doesn't have any Infestors. So with the Infestors, if you pick a good engagement, you can do a lot there. And here we go. The battle already... Oh, nice concave that we see here for Impact. And the Queens are already there trying to do their best with the Transfusers. We see a couple of Fungus going down with the Infestors that he has. And in terms of supply, Impact is being beaten here. His upgrades are not going to be not completed just yet.
Yeah, they're not complete just yet. And the Queen's trying to do the best with Transfuser, but Hydra's, or rather not Haiba, excuse me, hitting a great timing here. Not the best start to the engagement, but now he starts to fan out. Defender's Advantage having a little bit of an impact here.
Yeah, definitely, no puns intended, but right now we see the Zerg player for Soul retreating, and he was down one upgrade. He didn't have the armor upgrade yet, but now the +2/+2 is going to hit very fast, and that's when Impact will really just show his true strength, and that's when he also can move in. In supply, he's 30 army supply behind though, and that is definitely an issue.
Yeah, it's just that the army value, really, with the upgrades is going to get so much better for Impact the longer the game goes on. And as long as he doesn't make any mistakes with his Infestors, doesn't lose those, he's always going to have those to build up energy too. The Infestation Pit's so late for Haiba. And once he maxes, which is taking him a little bit of time, he can take a fourth. He's actually just going to go ahead and do it right now. And actually the Mutas are going to force a cancel on this. He doesn't see the Mutas coming, and there's nothing nearby. So he will actually have to cancel this. But he's trying to get a fourth base. He's trying to establish that.
A fight right now would be pretty cool for him, but he doesn't really know about the numbers here. He's definitely behind an army supply, but with this much of an upgrade lead and the Infestors in the game as well, he can do a lot here. Even adding that Baneling Nest will give him an opportunity to maybe roll Banelings into his opponent's Hydras, and that is definitely something that can be absolutely just devastating to Haiba's army. But the Mutalisks are still in the base. We even see Contaminate go down in the hatch, making sure that the production is a bit limited.
Yeah, it's always good to do that if you have the energy, and it's easy, you're not using it for much else, so. Or rather, your Overseer's not going to get sniped very easily, so you always kind of build that energy. And he's just trying to do what he can to harass. The upgrade advantage is now 2-fold in Carapace. Oh no, actually, he evened it up, okay, so it's only 1. But he's still doing damage here with the Mutalisks. He's actually possibly could have sniped that Extractor. He's concerned about Infestors. As you can see, he splits here.
I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't just build a second Spore Crawler in the main base. At the beginning, he wasn't afraid to commit to Spore Crawlers, and when he saw those Mutalisks move in and force a double cancel on the Hydra Den, I thought that he would have built a second one. Now he's trying to, but it's already too late.
Yep. You do see Banelings with speed, which are going to help against Hydralisks on the ground. The commitment of which, though, by Haiba is not actually that high. He has a fourth base finished faster before actually a fourth base can be restarted for Impact. So he's actually just using the Mulus to his advantage to try to catch up in this game. This army is much more Hydralisk focused, though. 22 of them out versus 13.
And here we go. Nice snipes here on those Infestors, trying to get all of them, but with a good fungal and the rest of the Hydralisks, the Infestors, at least 2 of them live. And Impact has to win a good fight because he's falling behind in bank, and the reinforcement for Hiva will be devastating to him. But just look how secure Hiva is trying to play this. He knows that if he loses a fight right now, he will lose his advantage, and that's why we see him with a lot of spine crawlers.
Oh, I can't believe he's walking back here. Okay, now he's still going to commit. He needs to do something here. The Banelings, he didn't actually get the snipe. There's just 13 of them left, and with the Hydra heavy composition for Hiva, those could really get some nice connects, or even on the spine crawlers. But as it is, I don't think you can break this. The Infestors for Hiva also just now popping with Pathogen Glands, with that fungal ability. And the base of the bottom is spotted, but there's also one at the top, has not yet been scouted. And he's not dealing with this 4th base that Hiva has established, and that's actually starting to get him a little bit of extra gas income, and he could easily take it out with just a small group of units. Yeah, he's going to go for the rocks. Now he's starting to realize it.
Hiva playing a very solid game here. The spine crawlers helping him a lot, but in terms of bank, they're very similar right now. Good concave, but here come those fuckers. Look at those fuckers.
Are perfect here, trapping all of the Banelings as well. He's got the concave, and he is rushing this army.
Oh my god, Impact just got, he got owned there. He got owned pretty hard in that fight.
Yeah, that was basically the best thing that Hiva could have hoped for when it comes to taking an engagement here. Manor hatcheries, and here we go. The Baneling's out of position here. He crashes into roaches. That's never what you want. Infested Terrans coming down as well. Way too much DPS.
Mana hatches being built, even the 6 now. He knows that this is basically over if he doesn't make any major mistakes, because he has such a crazy bank. Just look at this. This is these 2 bungalows that crush 50 supply of Impact's army, and here come the mana hatches, and Impact is not going to bring this home. At least he shouldn't be able to.
Well, he's starting to take this fight, and he has that defender's advantage.
He has that, and it would be funny as hell if Impact, Hiva is suddenly in the position where to cancel, and he's
pulling
canceling.
A deer here, man. Same team, same problem. Here we go. He's actually on the chase now. The drone's falling down, and the Infestors are exposed.
Well, he's reinforcing now with the resources that he just got back. So if he saves the Infestors, it should be fine.
That's
he gets
a nice
fungal off. But yeah, he got a little bit too overconfident there. He's still in a 30 supplied army lead, so let's not forget about that.
Yeah, and he's always got those spine crawlers. He's got that base still to the top.
And he has 4 bases against 3, 4 mining bases against 3. So he's still ahead, but he definitely got a little bit too carried away there.
You know, this hatchery may die to 1 Mutalisk, but that's not as funny to me as that he has not sent any drones to the base of the top that he's had for this whole time that has not been spotted. He's got the drone lead at 71 to 54, and he's not using that base. That would actually really, really be good for him right now. That's the one advantage he can actually really use to eke out his...
The spine crawlers are walking across the map, and he just goes for the siege here.
This is something I've talked about a lot. I don't know why more Zergs don't do this in late game ZVZ when they have this many spines, because if you can actually get them up and you can fall back to them, it's really quite nice. In this case, I don't know about the positioning, but he could, like, for example, put them where the hatchery is to the south. That's a nice little catch on some roaches. Get those for free.
Yeah, you should slowly siege forward here, actually. But still, he
might get trapped.
Yeah, he might. I mean, that's another good funnel, and more units are being taken out there. So Impact is trying to make his comeback, and that's actually pulling ahead in a supply for a second there.
Yep, going to take out these roaches that spot the base to the north as well easily. Gas
Hiva has to be careful. I mean, seriously, if he gets too cocky, he might lose the game. It was a sure victory for him already, and then he got way too confident.
I mean, we saw from the very beginning when Hiva looked into the camera that he was in this one to win it. He wanted to actually excite his fans. He's got a lot of fans here in the studio right now. Don't blame him for that. Now he is switching into Hive and putting his spine crawlers back to their defensive position. He's still down on Harvesters though.
Yeah, he's down on Harvesters, but still, I have to say that Impact now has much better chances after Impact lost 50 supply without doing anything. Like, he walked into a bad spot, he didn't see it coming, the fungals hit, he was trapped, everything was taken out, and that was where Hiva basically won the game. And then suddenly he decides to just move in, drop 6 or 7 mana hatches, and his army did not win the fight. So now he finds himself in a spot where he's nearly on eye level with Impact again. And that should not have happened. He should have taken the game right there. But he pulled it there, as you already said.
Yeah, he really did. Not as Deer-like as that Deer game, because when Deer had to cancel his next side, then he promptly lost almost instantly. The reason why, guys, that the bank, even though he got it back, the way it affected it was he could have had those units instantly as his units were dying, but because he wasted all of that time, his units came in late, which give Impact the time to actually rebuild his army with the extra income that he had from that base to the top.
And
even,
now,
I mean, your resource gets spent even before the hatcheries are made.
Haiva is going into the Greater Spire first, and he also has the +3/+3 started, so that definitely helps him. But this could get very tricky.
I like the usage of that debris there, actually, to block this off. It's going to buy him a little more time to make more spine crawlers, use that mineral excess that he has. But yeah, the Greater Spire is going to be a problem. And not only does Impact not have Hive, but he does not have even a Spire of his own, so he can't make Corruptors to deal with this from the outset. So he is almost done with his Hive, but he still doesn't have that Spire.
Yeah, that tech is going to help him a lot here. Hive that is, of course. But let's see how Impact is going to react. He needs to scout this. He needs to find out what's happening. Because so far, he really stayed in the game and he just tried to make everything happen that he possibly could. He has to defend against those roaches up there. And that's one of the nice moves that we see from Hiva, just trying to put some constant aggression on those satellite bases.
That one Mulus is just camping that location. He's killed a hatchery by himself and now he wants to do it again.
It's the hero Mulus.
He's like, hey, I told you this is a no hatchery zone. How many times have I told you?
We have to give him a name.
What is that? I never learned that one in high school.
That's a Zerg name, right there.
Sounds good to me, man. It looks like a...
Didn't you know that I speak Zerg?
No, but now I do. But uh-oh, he gets the Hydra's bungled outside of Spine Core range. This actually may be a huge mistake by Hyba to actually try to engage into this. He's got a lot of infested Terrans. His Hydra's trying to break through.
We still have a lot more army supply for Hyba though, and he's trying to move in here right now. But look at this many infested Terrans that we currently see. But the army of Impact is getting crushed here. He's being schooled. The third base, the fourth base actually at the top left is also going down. And now the Broodlords are entering the stage. And as we said before, Impact without a Spire, without any notable anti-air. He only has Hydras and he GG's out of the game.
He realized, oh my god, you have high tech. He must have an Overseer in that we didn't see. And at that moment he was like, I gotta do this right now or there's no way I'm gonna be able to catch up. To be honest, I disagree. I think he could have easily defended that base who was taken to the bottom and tried to do things another way, but maybe he got nervous. That attack that he did at the end was just not necessary.
Look at I over that smirk. I'm probably just talking to Deer here and being like, yeah, I know, I nearly did the same mistake you made, but I turned things around.
He's probably just like, yeah, listen, this is how you mess up a manner and then come back. You did it wrong. I'm sure they will definitely talk about that one. But as it is now, it's a tie game.
Yeah, they got the 2 wins that we were talking about, the important ones. The 2 mirror matches were crucial, and we highlighted that already when we started into the series today. Now it comes down to Ryang versus Dia and Innovation versus Yongju. And we could definitely see them going into an ace match. I feel the next match is going to be super crucial, because everyone... I mean, what are the chances, the odds that actually Innovation is taken out by Yongju? Maybe like 1%, like 0.5?
I think like... The thing is, everybody should get on this, get betting and stuff, make some bets with your friends, like try to make your own odds, because this match is probably going to be a SmackDown, but it could be more exciting if you're like trying to set odds and like talk about this with your friends.
The thing is, Yongju isn't horrible. It's not like he's super bad or anything, but it's just like the way that Innovation dominates this matchup, which is insane. So that's why I don't think that Yongju is going to make any leaps here, but it's the best of one, so it could happen, but the chances are really slim. I feel the more important match is the one between Ryang against Dia, because if Ryang takes that, then Axiom Ace has such a good chance to take the match before we head into an ace game.
Yeah, I mean, this is like... I'm trying to think of an analogy of 2 fighters or something, you know, something from like outside of esports analogy. It's almost like David and Goliath or something, where it's like, yeah, he can do it, but nobody thinks so. Like, nobody thinks so. I mean, it's just, I mean, honestly, I feel like the odds are like 1,000,000 to 1 on him on this one. Like, I'd almost bet my life on it that Innovation is going to take him.
That is basically like in Undisputable Voika beating up a prison guard. That's roughly the same thing.
Yeah.
The same chances that I would give Yongju in the last match. Even though, like, we said it before, he played some really good matches so far in the GSTL, so he's by no means a bad player, but he's going up against like one of the best, even the best player that we have in this matchup, and that is definitely going to be very tricky for him. Maybe he has something prepared where he can take him out, has some kind of timing that Innovation doesn't expect, but the more important match for now is going to be the next one where Ryung has to face Deer, and that's not going to be easy for Ryung. I mean, Deer these days is looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's looking really good. Ryung has got to have something special planned, I feel. And
not only in terms of the ceremony that he promised us.
Exactly. Ryung wants to try to climb the charts in individual wins. It's been a little bit tougher for him this season, especially because in this format he's not allowed to get all kills.
Yeah. Well, we're having a look at the game right now, at least of the two players, and try to find out if... Oh, there we have Mekia, aka Impact.
I think what Ryung has got to be thinking right now, and probably what Crank has told him is, listen, if you win this game, we win the team match. Just think about it that way. Just think about it that way. If you win this, it's all over. If you don't, probably going to the ace match. I'm putting the truth on the table for you guys. It's probably exactly how this entire team is looking at it. This is how you're looking at it too. Ryung wins this, the match is over. Yes, we play one more consolation match, and then it's all over, because that's how things are going to go. So it's really important for Deer to take this. This is extremely critical.
And they know that, so in an ace match, you know, ace match could be pretty sick, to be honest. If we look at these two lineups, and now we have Deer in there, Deer versus Innovation would be very interesting to watch.
Yeah. You know, there are so many players floating around right now trying to become the undisputed best player in the world, but there's too many of them. No one's actually been able to prove it. A player has his championship, does really well in multiple tournaments, and then loses a big final to somebody who's a little bit less expected. This keeps happening right now in Korea. And I tell you what, I bet Deer wants to face Innovation in an ace match so he can prove that he can beat Innovation just in the team league as well, just without preparing anything and not knowing for certain that Innovation is there. If you know, the thing is, I think it has to be Innovation versus Deer in the ace match, because who else could it be? They're probably going to expect Deer. Are they going to send Ryung again if he loses to Deer? Probably not.
Well, the next game is going to be very crucial for this team match, and as we mentioned already before, Deer is just really strong in this matchup. He defeated the last 3 Terran players that he played against. He was successful against Teja, Maru, another best of 5 where he defeated Maru, took down Gumiho, took down Supernova twice in the Premier League in Season 3 here in Korea. And then you have Ryung, who has a 55% win ratio, is definitely solid, but not nearly as strong, statistically speaking, as Deer is in the matchup.
No, definitely not. Well, Deer, I mean, let's be honest, Deer actually takes down players. The best player in the Premier League of Korea, which is the hardest WCS league in the world. So this has got to be one of the top 3 players in the world right now. And Ryung, yes, he is good, but can he stop this Titan?
By the way, people were asking earlier who are the girl on the bench of XMA says. This is the manager, this is Olivia. She's currently living with the team in Korea. I did an interview with her just recently about the selection of players for the team and also what she thinks about Impact. If you want to check that out, go to YouTube and look for Caldo TV. The interview is up there, talking a lot about the team and the team atmosphere in the house. And now we're jumping into another very important game here with the Ryung going up against Deer and the Terran versus Protoss with the GSTL.